the head bobbing.
I'm ready for love today.
The longest intro ever. What is going on, sleepers? It is Tuesday. We're going full steam right ahead into week 8. We're plowing through. A lot of people in the preseason didn't think we would even get this far. We're just a few weeks away from the playoffs. Super excited about the fantasy season. With me, as always, is my right hand, my left hand. Just depends on where we're on the screen here. Mike, Dirty Jobs. How you doing, Mike?
I would say I've got the upper hand, George. That's how I would phrase that. I've got the upper hand here.
I would have to concur with that assessment. I am definitely at a disadvantage here. With us tonight, also working hard in the background to make sure the show goes off with no hitches. It is Fallon, a.k.a. Just a Girl on Twitter. I'd ask her how she's doing, but she's got her mic turned off. She's multitasking. She's making us look good, trying to make us look good. That's really hard to do. Yeah, but she's making sure we sound good and the show goes off with no hitches. So
I look really, really good at about 2:00 in the morning, George. Then I'm sexy.
I am 100% convinced I look my best when I'm asleep.
Yeah, there you go.
The minute I wake up, forget it. Nope. Yeah. I'm working with all this.
A downhill fight. Yeah, I hear you.
Exactly. So, Mike, this was a pretty big week for fantasy. Lots of injuries this week. I mean, lots. We lost Odell for the year. Who else did we lose? After saying
Chris
lots and lots. Yep.
Chris Carson's out for a little bit. And with Chris Carson, of course, as a package deal goes Carlos Hyde, which seems to
lots.
Yep. Carson's out for a little bit. And with Chris Carson, of course, as a package deal goes Carlos Hyde, which seems to
lots. Yep.
Carson's out. There we go.
I am so confused right now.
I am so confused.
I don't know what's going on.
I was like, am I interrupting myself right there?
I honestly thought you were. I don't know what that was.
I'm still kind of drawing a blank. We'll give Fallon a break. It's her first time producing. We'll give her the benefit of the doubt here.
It's the power.
It's the power. She's gone power crazy. Kenyon Drake. We lost Kenyon Drake this weekend. We lost Jeffrey Wilson this weekend, which isn't that big of a deal. Ripping it up, man.
He had a huge game, absolutely huge. 3 touchdowns, and then we lost him. He's gone. He's no longer with us. He's resting in peace. It's so brutal.
He's gone. Jeff Wilson gone. Odell gone. I'm trying to think of we lost a couple other people too, but I think that was more before the week. Like Chase Claypool, didn't we lose him yesterday?
I'm actually looking this up as we speak.
No, we didn't lose him. Just Ben Roethlisberger lost him. Couldn't find him all day yesterday. Poor guy.
So we lost Chris Godwin. He's out this week.
Yeah, he's out
with his finger. We mentioned Odell Beckham. We mentioned Kenyon Drake. There's a chance Christian McCaffrey actually comes back. I don't think he plays this week. I think he comes back after next week. They play Thursday night and then they get 10 days off. So I don't think he comes back, but I mean, there's a possibility he does. We lost Deebo Samuel. I don't think we said anything about Deebo. He's gonna miss week 8 against Seattle. Devonta Freeman, not that he was much to write home about. but he's not practicing this week. So there's just a lot of injuries. This whole year there's been a lot of injuries. It seems like we say this every year, but I think there's been more injuries this year than in previous years.
Like, do we have any players left? like I don't even know who I'm picking up off of waivers anymore. These guys are all people I've never, ever heard of.
Well, listen, there's some guys I didn't hear of. Mr. Daly over there, your Cash Daly, like you had a hell of a call this weekend.
Oh, with old DJ Moore, huh? Yep, I put him in. Well, I had James Robinson in. Woo, it was a good weekend.
You also had what's his name from the Saints, the wide receiver,
Marquez Callaway.
Yes.
Yeah, buddy.
That was the DJ Moore call was fantastic. The Callaway one was even more impressive because I don't think people even heard of this dude. And Mike's like, "Yep, get him, put him in. You're fine."
It's just opportunity, and when you start missing all your players, and it just starts getting deeper and deeper. And I watched this guy coming out of college, and he's big, he's tough, he's fast too, and I really don't think that we see him fade away. I really think this might have been a breakout game for this guy, and I really feel like we'll see a little bit more of him. I think he can actually usurp Emmanuel Sanders for that role this year, happening live as we watch it, because he's just a dominant force. I watched him, like I said, in Tennessee way back when, and goddamn, that guy is fast and he is good. So, and he contests for that ball and he wins. I really like him a lot.
Yeah, no, it's listen, they need more bodies there. And if this guy's going to go out and produce like that, like he's somebody we'll definitely be bringing up later today, for sure. But Mike, let me just run through this real quick. Like we're talking about injuries. These are the guys who were drafted, and the first, I'm gonna just run through real quick, maybe the first round or so at the beginning of the year. Okay. According to Fantasy Pros, Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley, Ezekiel Elliott, he's still standing, barely. Dalvin Cook, Alvin Kamara, who's been a stud. Michael Thomas, Derrick Henry, who's been a stud. Devontae Adams, missed time, still a stud. Josh Jacobs, Joe Mixon, disappointment. Miles Sanders, missing time. Tyreek Hill. Do you know Tyreek Hill has not had a single 100-yard game this season?
Wow, that's baffling.
Yeah, the closest he's come is 99 yards, and that was back in week 2. DeAndre Hopkins, Nick Chubb, Austin Eckler, Julio Jones, Kenyon Drake, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Travis Kelce, Aaron Jones, Pat Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Chris Godwin, George Kittle. Those are the first 2 rounds of fantasy drafts.
Man, that is a disappointing first couple of rounds. Like,
that is a graveyard.
Kudos, Alvin Kamara, for shining through a field of trash somehow.
Yeah, that is literally a fantasy graveyard of who's who from the start of the season, from when we first did our drafts. That's just amazing.
That's crazy. I bet you could just keep going too, because there's been so many injuries this year. I don't know if it was the lack of preseason. It really doesn't seem like it was lack of preseason. It just seems like, what a weird year. What a very weird year. I mean, I'm like I said, I'm running out of players I'm familiar with, and I do this for quite a bit. Like I know these depth charts pretty deep, and I'm running out of people here. I can't imagine in the NFL feel like.
A lot of these guys that we're talking about right now, like the Jermichael Hasties of the world, these are guys that we were talking about in the preseason when we were doing FFU with me, you, and Jason, when we were breaking down, the COVID depth charts and late round guys or flyer guys that you could take a chance on, or if there was a lot of injuries, or if a whole running back group, for example, or an offensive line group got COVID. Like, these are guys, you could look to that you may be playing throughout the year. And so I'm sort of familiar with some of these names, but man, there's still a lot of them. I'm not even sure who these guys were come to start the beginning of the year.
Yeah, nope. I mean, like I'm really just kidding. We're still deep. We're still rolling. We're still going good. It's just, man, the familiarity of having these studs in your lineup. You're really having to use your analysts this year. This is tough for fantasy football.
Absolutely. So let's jump into the meat and potatoes. We're going to be doing waivers, like I do every week before we get into waivers. These are guys I'm going to ask you if you are would recommend them be cut. We're not saying go out and actually cut these guys, but if you have these guys on the end of your bench, or if you're suffering from major bye week and injuries, like, are these guys you would be willing to cut to pick somebody up? Okay, so we're not saying go out and drop these guys. We're not going to go out and say like Mike Evans is droppable. He's not. Okay, but let's
keep it responsible.
Yeah, let's be respectable here. But let's go ahead and burn through some of these names. First one I got for you is Cam Akers. Are you ready to drop Cam Akers if you need to?
I want to be, but man, I'm just still so hesitant. I love Cam Akers. I think he's still viable. I think he's got the guy to take over that backfield, but they're really just not doing it. So, man, I guess, yeah, I'm out. I actually am out. I'm out on Cam Akers.
I am as well. I think he's the number 3 running back there, and it's just like Malcolm Brown looked really good last night. I mean, he looked really good.
Hurry, to get him rolling.
Henderson looks really good as well when given the opportunity. Like it's one of those backfields I've been saying all season. Like, I'm trying to avoid at all cost, just because you never know which running back it is going to be. In a standard, and I say standard leagues, I'm talking 12-team PPR. I think I'm ready to cut bait on Cam Akers. How about J.D. McKissick from Washington?
Yeah, I'm out. I don't want really anything to do with that Washington backfield right now. That team is, although Kyle Allen's starting to look like he's dealing out there, I'm still out on that.
Yep. Last 2 running backs I'm going to throw at you, both on the same team, so we'll do them both at the same time. Sony Michel and James White.
Yeah, I'm not messing around with that team anymore either. I'm out on the Patriots. Patriots are a dumpster fire.
So I'm not ready to cut bait on James White. He's the only running back I feel has a definitive role. And even though he went out and put up a stinker last week, if there's not a better option, and I'm not sure, you're really going to get many options. I don't know. It's just in a 12-team league to cut James White is difficult. I get what you're saying, and it's absolutely logical. But I don't know. I think I'm holding on to James White one more week.
He's one of those guys I'm willing to wheel and deal and get him out there on the waiver wire to see maybe get a potential better pickup off the guy who's going to go grab that landmine off the wire. So for me, I'm good with that. I'm like, nope, I'm out. I just can't handle no more James White.
Okay. Here's a couple more guys, a couple wide receivers I want to throw at you. Keelan Cole from the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Keelan Cole, I'm holding on. I think he's one of the few bright spots on that team, and DJ Chark is really kind of letting me down.
Yeah, we talked about Mecole Hardman last week. Is he still a hold for you?
Mecole Hardman, yeah, he's a hold. He's a hold. It looks like we got a phone call though, George.
Oh, well, I'm not looking at that screen. Caller, you're on with the Tuesday Waiver Show. What's going on?
What's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
Hey,
what's going on?
Man, nothing up, man. It's Chirp, man. I know it's been a minute. I ghosted on the scene right quick.
Chirp, I was honestly concerned. I thought you may have fallen victim to COVID.
Me too.
Nah. It was a school COVID. That's what did it. It was having to study and take care of assignments and chance to making phone calls. Been grinding.
Well, we're really glad to have you back. It's really good to hear from you. We missed you this year, brother.
Oh, I'm glad to call. I was like, man, let me call because I've been out the loop too long, and yeah, I need either the vent or the advice, either or. I'm going against my arch nemesis this week.
All right, what can we help you with?
Yeah, buddy.
All right, so look, I got Chris Carson. You know, he's questionable right now, and my running back situation is looking pretty beat up. So I was trying to say about who to pick up on the waves for that, and who I might be able to drop in place of that, because I got one person that's off in IR, so I know I'm going to end up getting rid of somebody for that. But my running backs are Gibson, which he's on bye, Madison, and Murray, and I got Joshua Kelly. So if I pick somebody up off of there, I'm going to have to end up one of them got to go.
Ooh.
Who you looking at picking up? Who are the options to pick up? Because I think that makes it a little bit easier for us.
Okay, so the Ravens running backs, Edwards, Dobbins, got P. Ryan there, Naeem Hines. Nobody messing with Naeem Hines. Who else was here? Cam Akers, Deontay Johnson.
Whoa. Hello.
James Richard.
Hold up. Time out. Did you say Deontay Johnson? I'm grabbing him.
He's the wide receiver, but I'm. What's that, Chirp?
Yeah. I was going down. I just saw D Johnson, and that was the first thing that came. Out. You know, they didn't have his whole name on there. Yes, the Cleveland running back.
Dearness Johnson.
Yeah, nope.
Yes.
Fade. We're out.
So
Back
you did say P. Ryan's there, right? LaMichael P. Ryan?
Yep, I like him a lot.
I like him a lot as well.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
He had.
Then,
we'll talk about him a little bit later, but he had a season high 11 carries this week for 39 yards and a touchdown. He also had 2 catches for 16 yards. So they're using him in the passing game. They're using him in the running game. They trust him when he gets down close. He's going up against Kansas City. Kansas City is 20th against the run. Lord knows there's not a whole lot to throw it to on the Jets. Like, it's Jamison Crowder if he comes back, and that's about it, especially with Rashard Perriman getting injured this week. So, and I think Fulgrim's there. But still, I like, so far, everybody you've mentioned, I'm highest on P. Ryan.
Same here. I like LaMichael P. Ryan a lot. Rest of the season, he's going to have the head of the opportunity there.
If you need a 1 week rent, like, P. Ryan is a good rest of season pickup. If you need a 1 week pickup, I would see if Jermichael Hasty is available. Again, he's somebody we were going to talk about in a little bit. But with Mostert and Coleman on injured reserve and Wilson, Jeff Wilson expected to join them, that literally leaves Jermichael Hasty and Jerick McKinnon as the only running backs on the roster. And thanks to my good buddy John Chapman, who runs the 49ers Rush podcast. Like, I listen to him a couple times a week, and he's been talking about how much the 49ers absolutely love this kid that they had on their practice squad named Hasty. And he's been singing the praises all year. So they like this kid a lot.
Yeah, okay. You know, the one thing I worry about with Mike Hasty.
He last week.
No, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, Chirp. You were in and out.
Oh, I said, that's who my opponent. He picked him Hasty up last weekend.
That's a good thing. I was getting ready to say I'm really worried about Tevin Coleman coming back. I think Coleman steps on that scene and takes it back over, and I think he does it in one fell swoop. So
it could happen if Coleman does come back. He's eligible to come back. So that is possible. We're talking Tuesday, trying to predict what's going to happen on Sunday.
Right.
So throughout the week, it's possible we could get information that'll change what we're thinking. But I mean, it is possible he is eligible to return, so that possibly could happen.
Let me ask you this right quick: the backup on there for Seattle, that DJ Dallas, because I think I saw something about Hyde is already starting to have issues with the hamstring.
It could be. So,
and I think that's only the other.
They play they play San Francisco this week. San Francisco is 4th against the run. It's 100% absolutely true. Dallas could be the last man standing. Carson is almost certainly out, but there's a chance that Carlos Hyde could play. So they haven't really said much of anything as of right now. I think the two safest bets for running backs right now to get you guaranteed touches is LaMichael Pirine and I would go with Wayne Gallman. But Wayne Gallman's got a tough matchup against Tampa. So I would probably go LaMichael Pirine.
Yep, same here.
Okay.
I'm avoiding all that other nonsense either way.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's Samaje's little brother.
Who would you say would be the drop?
They got to cut. What are the options again?
The cut would be, well, I know I'm not going to get rid of Antonio Gibson, Joshua Kelly, Latavius Murray, and Alexander Madison.
Do you have to cut a running back? Can you cut a wide receiver? Do you got a backup quarterback or a tight end?
Well, I got Lamar Jackson. I got Teddy Bridgewater, but I got Bridgewater go ahead and starting for Thursday night, and then his DJ Moore, Calvin Ridley, and Hollywood Brown are my my receivers. And then I got to get a tight end because I had Darren Fells, so I got to try and pick somebody up for there as well.
So you're starting Bridgewater over Lamar Jackson?
Yeah, that's what I was kind of leaning towards. Because I know about with that Pittsburgh, I don't know what the defense, and Lamar ain't been running like, he up there really trying to throw, and I really need him to get back on them wheels.
Yeah, and Bridgewater's got a sweet matchup at Atlanta. I see your thinking there. I really do.
Yeah, I hate to start because I got 3 of them on Thursday nights, and I really don't like starting people on Thursday. But
yeah, no. If it's me, I think I'm dropping. Madison.
That's who I was going to say too.
And
I was say Alexander Madison too. Alexander Madison is precisely who I've dropped. Go ahead, George. Why would you drop?
I'm thinking I would drop Madison. They expect Cook to be back. If he comes back, Madison is going to have a role, but it's not going to be a large role. And the only way Madison gets super value is if there's no Cook. So you could drop him for somebody that is going to have a guaranteed starter's workload
for the rest of the season as well.
Yeah.
On top of that, too, you got Alexander Madison. Even with that starting role, he really doesn't do a whole awful lot with it. So, I mean, the guy is just not Dalvin Cook as much as we want him to be. And that system doesn't provide enough for it to be a systematic role. So where you like, say, Pittsburgh, you could throw my fat ass on Pittsburgh and I'd probably still get 100 yards and 2 touchdowns, right? Like, because of that line, that system, they're so good.
Yeah.
But Dalvin Cook actually excels because he's a fantastic running back. Whereas Alexander Madison, I'm not saying he's bad, but he's not that good. He's just not that fantasy valuable.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a hard cut, but
easier for me.
Yeah, I'd say it's a hard cut to cut Madison. Like that's not somebody I want to cut, but given the situation, I think that's the right move.
Okay, all right. Well, top-notch advice again, as usual, fellas.
Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you.
Here for you again, Chirp.
Oh, yeah. I'll definitely try and make my way if I to call next week to see how it goes with my assignments, but I'll definitely be listening.
All right. We appreciate you, man. Thank you so much.
Yep. Thanks, Chirp. Take it easy, buddy.
Appreciate y'all. Thanks. Take care.
Man, it's so good to hear from him. I actually missed him this year, to be honest. Like, he used to call us every week. It took him 7 weeks to call us this year.
Right. Same. Yeah. Like, I was like, man, where has Chirp been? Because I was like, man, he's like our Tuesday Curtis, right? Like, he doesn't call on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or Monday, any of those times. He just calls
straight Tuesdays. Tuesday
show. Yep. And so he's our guy, and he hasn't been here.
Yeah. Chirp, I know you're listening, brother. We did miss you. We mean it.
Sure.
Let's jump back into a couple of these cuts, and then we're going to get right into the ads. Fallon, just so you know, I'm not watching the stream on the stream show, so if you need to just have Mike let me know.
Yeah, we're good. I'm still watching all ads.
Okay.
You know how I roll, George.
Yeah, I know. I'm pulling up the notes. So Mike, we're gonna burn through the rest of these real quick. Let me know if these are guys you're willing to cut or not. I believe last week we talked. You can cut T.Y. Hilton, right?
Yes, sir.
Jerry Jeudy, you can cut him.
I think so.
Now here's a guy we talked about last week. I want to make sure you're still on the cut train here. He was a preseason darling. Everybody loved him. Thought he was going to be a super sleeper. And the only thing he's put to sleep is your chance of winning this year, and that'd be Marvin Jones.
Yeah, unfortunately, I dropped him in a league this week or last week now, I guess. Yeah, it's time to cut ties. He's not getting involved. And I mean, yeah, he's going to get out there. He's going to probably get 3 touchdowns this weekend, and then you won't see him again this year. So great daily play, horrible roster.
Yep.
Horrible roster guy.
Absolutely. Now, here's another one we talked about last week, and I'm standing fast. I'm not ready to cut him. I believe in his talent. I liked him in college. I liked him coming out. He's been injured all year, has not played a single snap in the NFL. Jalen Reagor from Philadelphia. Are you ready to cut him?
I'm not. No, he's about ready to activate off of
Yep.
IR. I'm actually getting ready to grab onto him because I think anybody with the pulse is going to get the football up there in Philly. So
Correct.
So yep, I'm holding on to him.
Now here's a couple guys who are also injured. I'm curious on your cut level here. I don't think you're going to cut the first one. The second one you might. So on a scale of 1 to 10, where are you at cutting this guy? 1 being you're not. 10 being he's not even on my roster right now. We'll go with Deebo Samuel.
I'm calling about a 6.
So yeah, that makes sense. I'm a little lower. I think I'm at like a 5, 4, 5 on cutting him. Right there, right in the middle. How about Mike Williams?
Give me a 10 for that one. I love Keenan Allen this year. That's all I'll say about that.
Listen, guys. Listen, ladies. This is what I want to say. Find you a significant other who loves you, like Justin Herbert loves Keenan Allen. Okay?
Right. Exactly.
That dude loves him some Keenan Allen. All right. Here's a couple of tight ends real quick. We'll burn through these as well. I asked last week. I don't know if you were on board of cutting him or not. He was a late game scratch this week, right before Monday night, which put a lot of people in panic trying to find a replacement for him. Tyler Higbee.
I feel like I'm going to cut him and he's just going to start going ham, George. So, no, I'm holding on tight ends. Tight ends like him aren't a dime a dozen, but I am benching him, but I'm not cutting him.
Okay. No, and that's completely acceptable. Robert Tonyan. It's like Funyun, but with a T.
Robert Tonyan. No, I'm holding on. I think he still has a place too.
Yeah, I'm cutting him.
Are you?
He's got a place. It's called the waiver wire for me. Here's an interesting one. Up until maybe this past week, I would have said no, but now I feel like can go either way. Dalton Schultz.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't think I want anything to do with Dallas either. I'm out.
Yeah, it's
ugly.
It's listen. The best thing Dallas could do is reach out to Miami for Fitzmagic, to be honest. But I'm not even.
Another good move. What's Jameis Winston up to these days? I wonder.
Yeah, listen. Could you imagine Jameis Winston on that team or Fitzmagic? Jesus, Lord have mercy.
Oh yeah, I'd love it. I'd love it.
How about Washington tight end Logan Thomas?
Oh hell no, that guy's been balling.
Yeah, no, I'm not out on him yet either. It's such a compact wide receiver core. Like, there's not a whole lot of options in the passing game, and Logan Thomas is one of those options that, no, there's no way I can cut him right now.
3 straight weeks at the tutty, too.
Yep.
If I recollect correctly, yeah, three straight weeks with the touchdown. So,
which means he will not have one this week.
Yeah, right.
All right, a couple quarterbacks here just to see where you're standing on these guys, and then we'll get into the ads and whatnot. Philip Rivers can be cut, 100% cut. I'm not even going to ask you. I'm not wasting your time or mine. Let's move right along. Kirk Cousins.
Oh yeah, 10. I don't know why he's still on your roster.
Baker Mayfield, Mr. Five Tutties himself.
Yeah, heck no, he's balling out too.
How about Gardner Minshew?
A 10 on him as well. You know, one thing I want to say about Baker Mayfield and not having OBJ is that, like, he's sitting there, like, I swear to God, having OBJ on your team, I feel like if you don't pass to him, you hear about it. And if you hear about it and you hear about it and you hear about it. So I bet not having him on your as a wide receiver is like a less of a distraction. We might actually see a better Baker Mayfield out here without OBJ out there.
I think it'll open up the offense more, to be honest.
I tweeted something the other day that said, I think we all got duped on one good catch, and this guy hasn't been anything since. Like,
no, I think Odell is a very good wide receiver, but I also think he's a very difficult person. His personality, I think, is difficult to handle.
Right.
And if you're a young quarterback like Baker Mayfield, who, by the way, can also be a difficult person to his personality to handle, I don't know they really mesh all that well.
Yeah, for sure.
Listen, I would have loved to see OBJ with a strong-minded quarterback, like somebody who he's not going to be able to question, like a Drew Brees and Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, somebody of that ilk, to where they're not, Ben Roethlisberger. Just somebody who is a veteran who's been there and done that, and is not going to let him get away with the personality conflicts that he has.
Absolutely. Hold on real quick. We got Dana Hill jumping in. She's got a question. She says, good evening, everyone. She has 2 running backs on bye this week. Her other 2 are Jacobs and White. She doesn't feel confident about White. She didn't hear what we said about Hyde, but she doesn't feel comfortable with him. She's thinking LaMichael Pirine. Is that crazy? Or just roll with White and use her waiver pickup for Ayuk?
I would 100% use my waiver pickup on Ayuk.
I think I would too.
100%. I would put in the order of priority. I would go Ayuk 1, and then I would go with LaMichael Pirine 2.
Yeah, same here. I think, gosh, I really want LaMichael Pirine, and I really don't want James White next week. And having both of my running backs on bye are just, that's terrifying.
Hey, Dana, I got a question. What is your wide receiver core look like?
Thank you. That's what I was just getting ready to say.
Yeah.
What are your other wide receivers? Because I feel like if I'm solid at wide receiver, I think I actually spend my priority here on Pirine as opposed to rolling out with White. So, Dana, if you're still listening, give us or let us know what's your wide receiver strengths over there.
Yep.
And then we had Conundrum Cod saying he thinks that the OBJ is super talented, just not a good. And like I said, man, I feel like he is super talented, but I don't think he's all that. I don't think he's been the first round value or the second round value, but I think a good third round talent, possibly somewhere mid third in there. But man, I don't think that he was what we were drafting him to be for that long.
Years. Yeah. And he misses a ton of games. I'm gonna look up how many games he's missed while you get to the question here from Dana.
Okay, so she also says, do we trust Bernard? But she says she's got Godwin who went out, and then so she's got Allen, Brown, and Cup. I'm not starting Ayuk over any one of these guys. So
I may go with Ayuk over Cup, but it is super, super close. Gun to my head, I'm going LaMichael Pirine.
I think so. I think I'm going to go LaMichael Pirine on my waiver. And I'm going to running LaMichael Pirine over Gio Bernard. And so I think I'm running with Jacobs and Pirine this weekend, and then Allen, Brown, and Cup. I think that's what I'm rounding it out with.
I think if for sure Mixon is out again, which could possibly happen. I know he said he was ready to go, but they held him out. If Mixon is out again, I'm going to go Bernard over Pirine as well.
Yeah, same here. If he's out, for sure. But I don't think he is either.
So back to OBJ real quick. Out of a possible 112 games, he's played 82, which means he has missed 30 games, which is almost 2 full seasons.
Wow. Yeah. That's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, he's missed a shit ton of games. He's going to miss the rest of this year. Only twice has he played 16 full game seasons. One was in 2019 where he had 133 targets, 74 receptions, 1,035 yards, and only 4 touchdowns. That was a horrible season. That was his first year in Cleveland. And then in what looks like to be one of his best years, it's his second best year, excuse me. In New York Giants, he had 169 targets, career high in receptions with 101. He had 1,367 receiving yards and 10 touchdowns. So he killed it for you that year. But he's just like the first few years he was in the league, his first 3 has been phenomenal. And then after that, he hasn't really been anything spectacular at all.
Yeah, nope. I don't really even blame the Browns. Like I said, he just doesn't seem to have that separation or anything. He's got great hands, everything like that. He runs good, clean, crisp routes. But I don't know. To me, he's just so much of a distraction that it's hard to get into the other factors that he brings to the table.
Agreed.
He doesn't seem to have enough of that he act like Jerry Rice. He doesn't make anybody better.
Yep,
exactly. There you go.
He does not make anybody better. Real quick, we got 3 more quarterbacks on here. I think Cam Newton, we can cut him, right?
Yeah, I'm cutting Cam.
How about Teddy B? He's got that sweet matchup with Atlanta this week.
Yeah, I'm rolling with Teddy B. I got Teddy B in my Scott Fishbowl, and I'm loving it.
I wish I did. I spent it early. So I was looking at my Scott Fishbowl earlier, and I don't mean to squirrel, but I was looking at it. I'm 5-2. Fantastic, right? 5-2, good record. Man, I am missing like my first 5 picks right now.
Wow.
Dak's injured. Miles Sanders is injured. Mark Ingram has just been blah. He might as well have been injured. Ertz is injured. I'm just missing like my first 5 rounds. It's just not even on the team right now, and I'm 5-1 or 5-2. It's been insane. But that shows you the importance of the wire.
Yep, I actually had a pretty good draft on there. I got like Josh Allen. I've got Teddy Bridgewater. Those are my quarterbacks. Josh Jacobs. I mean, I do have Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas is my 101.
You've got Michael Thomas everywhere, though.
Yeah, I have Michael Thomas in every single league. It's great, George. It's fantastic.
Okay, let's move on real quick. So actually, that was it. We ran through all the wide receivers, running backs, tight ends, and quarterbacks. I'm not going to get into you dropping kickers. I know for a fact Mike does not drop kickers. He literally hoards them all, and you cannot get them. So
if I use once, they earn that roster spot, George.
Yeah, once they're on Mike's once the kicker is on Mike's roster, done. He's not coming off. So injuries of note. We're going to jump right into the waiver wire now. This week on bye, we've got quarterbacks. We're going to start with Kyler Murray, which hurts me a lot. I've got him in a league. I'm 7-0, riding that Kyler Murray train to an undefeated record so far. Deshaun Watson, Gardner Minshew, and Kyle Allen. Injuries of note, you got Andy Dalton with the concussion. Most likely, I think he'll probably be back, but I mean, it doesn't help anybody if he comes back. I don't think so.
Right. Yeah. Like, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Yeah. So our I think I agree with Mike here. The number one waiver wire priority add for the quarterback position is going to be Teddy Bridgewater. He's got that sweet matchup against Atlanta. Atlanta is absolutely dead last against opposing quarterbacks. They do play Thursday night, so it is a Thursday night game. Yeah, what can I say about Teddy Bridgewater? I mean, 23 fantasy points against New Orleans last week. He's hit that point total in 3 of his past 4 games. Week 5 when he played Atlanta, he had 313 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, and he gets them again this week. Like, all in on Teddy Bridgewater this week. If you got him, start him.
Yeah, heck yeah. I love Teddy B. Like I said, I'm really glad I picked him up in my league in the Scott Fish.
Next one we have here is Kirk Cousins. I know, Mike, you have to refresh my memory here. Did you say drop him?
Who's that?
Holding Kirk Cousins?
Dropping him. I'm out.
Dropping him? Okay. If you're desperate, like let's say you're only carrying one quarterback because you got a Deshaun Watson, you've got a Kyler Murray. There's no point in carrying a second quarterback at that point. You look at your rosters. Teddy Bridgewater's already owned. Like, I don't mind Kirk Cousins in a pinch. He's got a pretty difficult matchup at Green Bay. Green Bay's coming off a bye, but before they went on bye, Cousins did score 29 fantasy points week 7. Granted, he was playing Atlanta, but he's got at least 36 pass attempts in each of his past 2 games. I honestly think they're going to end up throwing a lot against Green Bay because I think Green Bay is going to try to run the score up on them. Their defense is absolutely terrible, they being the Vikings. So I could see Green Bay getting up. I could see Aaron Rodgers and Aaron Jones and Devontae Adams just throwing it all over the place and catching it all over the place and forcing Kirk Cousins in the second half to abandon the run, basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
Another guy we talked about, Baker Mayfield. They've got the Vegas Raiders this week. Vegas is 10th against opposing quarterbacks. Baker's been pretty solid. He's got 15 touchdowns on the year, only 7 interceptions. So, averaging 2-1 there. He had a really good game last week against Cincinnati. He put up 39 points where Odell Beckham was injured and had no catches. And Austin Hooper didn't play, and Jarvis Landry only had 5 catches for 48 yards. And while none of that is good, he still threw 5 touchdowns. Like, he's getting it done. And without Odell Beckham, I don't think there's going to be pressure any pressure on him. The last quarterback, and I want to get your opinion on this, Mike, because I can't talk about Tua. Everybody knows I'm a Miami homer.
I really like Tua a lot. I think what I saw out of him in college and just knowing what I know about the guy, I'm very excited to see how he transitions to the NFL. That said, we need to see how he transitions to the NFL. This will be a big test for him. It'll be good to see him. I'm sure Miami's holding on to that Fitzpatrick in their pocket for a reason. I don't think they're going to trade him before the deadline because he's been so solid on this team. But I really think Miami is really looking good this year. I think they can actually make a run for it, especially for that division. That division's beatable. So,
Yeah, so I was talking with my my manager at work today, and he asked me about this. He knows that I do the fantasy football stuff, and he knows I'm a Miami fan. He's a Browns fan, so we both got that really bad teams for the last few years in common, and
Right.
so he asked me about it, and he's like, he goes, "You think Miami's actually trying to make a playoff push by doing the quarterback switch?" And I told him, I said, I honestly think they're doing the exact opposite. Like, I think they seen how Fitzpatrick was playing. And listen, while he was not great, they were only a couple more accurate passes away from beating the New England Patriots week 1. And they hung in tough with the Seattle Seahawks. So, I mean, potentially Miami right now could be 4-3, possibly 5-2. Or 5-1. So I mean, they could be 4-2, possibly 5-1 with a few things going our way against Seattle. But at the very least 4-2. And I don't think Miami wants to make the playoffs this year. I don't think they want the division this year. I've been saying it all season or off season. This is not the year for Miami. Our year where we're actually going to start putting things together and trying to make a serious run is going to be next year. So I think they switched to Tua, to get him the experience. Listen, he is the number 5 overall pick. You got to get him in there. You got to play. You got to see what you got, the kid. But also, I think it decreases their chance at winning, which increases them having a earlier draft pick. And I think Miami would love nothing more than to end up with 2 draft picks inside the top 7.
Yeah, and Houston keeps sucking too.
Yeah, because Miami owns Houston's first and second round draft pick this year, and we have ours as well, and we got a couple other seconds. So I really think that they're pumping the brakes a little bit, and I'm not saying that they're going out there to tank this year. They're not. They're going to be a competitive team. I think Fitzpatrick gives them a better chance to win, and especially win now. And I don't think that's what they want. I think they want to get the kid experience going into next year where they can make a serious run. Because making the playoffs this year with Fitzpatrick at the helm really does nothing at all for the Dolphins next year when we have Tua at the helm. Because let's face it, next year Tua is going to be starting week 1.
Right.
Unless he's injured. So you might as well throw the kid out there now, get him some experience, and let's see what we have. I mean, if the kid takes us to the playoffs this year, that's fantastic. That's great, but I don't think it's the year. To get to Dana's question real quick, would I play the Rams defense or drop Bernard for Carolina, Tampa Bay, or Tennessee? I would drop the Rams defense for Tampa Bay.
That was my answer, George.
Number one
in my head.
It pains me to say it. Tampa Bay is the number 1 defense in the NFL right now.
Yeah, buddy.
I would drop the Rams defense for Tampa Bay, but I would also play the Rams defense against Miami.
Same.
So Dana, it's your team. Do what you want. But that's my honest answer. I would try to pick up Tampa if I could, and if I can't, I'm playing the Rams defense against Miami, and I feel great either way. Also, rest of the season, Stafford or Burrow. Give me Joe Burrow.
Yeah, I think so too. I think I just now realized that this is Hilda Mack, and that's awesome. That's kick ass. Good to hear from you, Hilda Mack.
You didn't know that?
I didn't know, not until right then. I swore I had that thought. I'm like, I think that might be Hilda Mack, but I was like, but I remember there being a Mack somewhere or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think I go Burrow rest of season. I think he's got the higher upside and he's got the legs to get the job done. So yeah, give me some Burrow action all day.
Yep. All right, let's continue rolling here. The running backs. Lots of injuries of note. Dalvin Cook still dealing with the groin. Aaron Jones with the calf. Chris Carson with the foot. Kenyon Drake's got the ankle. He's done for a while. McCaffrey's got the ankle. He was wearing they activated him. He was wearing the red vest today. like I said, I sincerely don't think McCaffrey plays this week. I think this will be the last week before he comes back. On a short week, give him an extra 10 days after this. You're not losing a whole lot with Mike Davis back there. Like, Mike Davis has been absolutely phenomenal. So you're not losing a whole lot. It's not a very good Atlanta Falcons team that you're playing. So while it's great to have a Christian McCaffrey, you don't need a Christian McCaffrey to beat them. So if it's me, I don't think he's going to play. Miles Sanders got the knee, as we know. Mixon's with the foot. Eckler the hamstring. Like, everybody you drafted in the first 4 rounds is injured for running backs.
Rip 1 through
they're
4.
all injured.
Yeah. Alvin Kamara standing alone.
Alvin Kamara is looking at him and James Robinson, and James Robinson wasn't even drafted in a lot of leagues. And James Robinson, the only running back standing around like, where's everybody else? Where are we all at?
He wasn't even on the NFL draft, George. He
wasn't. The only draft James Robinson's ever been in is a fantasy draft.
Right.
So guys on bye this week. We got James Robinson, as we mentioned. You got Chase Edmonds, Kenyon Drake, who has got the ankle injury there. David Johnson, Duke Johnson, Antonio Gibson, and J.D. McKissick. Priority list. We talked about this a little bit earlier with Chirp. Michael Hasty is our number one, right, Mike? That's consensus.
No, I disagree. I'd rather have Michael P. Ryan for me over JaMychal Hasty. Here's why I don't like Hasty is Tevin Coleman. I think Tevin Coleman comes back, and I think Tevin Coleman comes back by this Sunday. And I think Tevin Coleman, like, I would be more prone to grab Tevin Coleman. He might be available on your waiver wire right now.
Coming off IR, he might be.
Yeah, Tevin Coleman might be a guy that comes in there and takes that number one spot and takes it over and keeps it because, Shanahan loves Coleman. He took him with him for crud's sake.
Yep. All right, so I'm on board with that. I don't hate that at all. Like, rest of season, if you ask me if I'd rather have LaMichael Pirine or JaMychal Hasty, 100% I'm all on board with LaMichael Pirine. So I don't hate that at all. So number one running back priority for us is LaMichael Pirine. Number 1B, we'll say, is JaMychal Hasty.
Yep, I love it. Love 1B.
We'll just do it like that because they're both high up there on my priority list. Gus Edwards, this guy just doesn't go away. We talked about we talked about it a few weeks ago. If one of these starters in Baltimore gets injured, like, I absolutely love the remaining 2 running backs standing in Baltimore. Edwards could very well end up being the lead running back for the Ravens this week if Ingram is still hurt. Now, Baltimore is coming off a bye, so we really haven't gotten much of an update. But if Ingram is hurt and Edwards and Dobbins are the 2 running backs, like, even though they have a very tough matchup against Pittsburgh number 1 against the run, like, I still like Gus Edwards because he's going to get opportunity. Like, the Ravens are the number 1.
Sure. Yeah,
they're the number 1 running team in the NFL. Like, that's all they want to do is run the ball. So I'm on board with Gus Edwards in a pinch this week. I'm tempering expectations, but I think he can get you good 8 to 10 to 12 points this week.
Yep, I agree. I don't mind Gus Edwards that much. I'm probably not spending too much of a waiver priority or chasing him with too much fab. That brings up a caller. What's your name? Where are you from?
Yo, DJ.
Hey, what's happening, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Just trying to figure out what I'm going to do on this waiver wire tonight, man. So just got off work and trying to figure it out. So let me just kind of run by you what I got going on. I just made it to first place.
Congratulations.
Nice.
Yes, sir. I scored 242 points, so it's crazy. I had Tyler Lockett. It's crazy. And I had Russell Wilson.
Lockett. Whew.
So here we go. So I got Russell Wilson, Lockett going this week, A.J. Brown, Boyd, Kamara, Man, I'm torn on starting McKinnon, man. I'm torn, like really, really torn on starting McKinnon. All right. I got Hunter Henry, which I'm torn on starting him too. I'm thinking about going to pick up a tight end because I just can't trust him right now. And then at flex, I got Cooper Kupp. That's my lineup for this week. Okay. I got Josh Kelly on the bench. I got Eckler in my IR. I got Justin Jackson as well. I got Jamal Williams on my bench. Gibson's on bye. I got Mike Williams, T. Higgins, McKissick, James White, and Edmonds. They're all on the bench. I got Rager in my other IR spot.
So I think I want to switch T. Higgins and Cooper Kupp.
I can't hear you.
I think I want to switch T. Higgins and Cooper Kupp.
You want to do T. Higgins? So start Boyd and T. Higgins?
Shit, I think I'd start T. Higgins over Boyd.
I think I would too.
Really?
Yeah. Is this show on in the background over there where you can hear us? I can hear some feedback bouncing off. They probably can't hear us very well. If you turn the show down, you'll be able to hear us better.
Hold on. What is it?
No worries.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Yep. Perfect.
Oh yeah, so much better.
Is that better?
Yeah, I think I would start. I would start T. Higgins over Boyd.
You're saying start Higgins over Boyd? Really?
I think I would.
I might not be that high on to Higgins, but I'm pretty damn close. But I'm still Boyd over Higgins by about 2 spots is all. But I'm definitely Higgins over Kupp in my flex.
Okay, so do you think I should start Higgins and Boyd at the same time?
Yeah. Oh heck yeah.
All right. So then bench Cooper Kupp, and then so we're gonna do T. Higgins and we're gonna do Boyd starting together.
I mean,
So they're playing Tennessee. Tennessee is not a great pass defense.
Yeah,
they're a good run defense, but they're not a very good pass defense. I think you can honestly get away with Boyd and Higgins, especially if Boyd's getting double-digit targets again. Like the last, so here's since week 3. Well, I'll go since week 2. And listen, you're the Tyler Boyd owner. You probably know his target share already. But 8-13, 8-6, which is considered a down week against Baltimore, which is their fantastic defense. 8-13. Like, so they're heavily involving Boyd. They're also heavily involving T. Higgins. If Joe Mixon does not play, I think Joe Burrow is going to throw that ball again all over the place. And I think there's enough there for both of those guys to be starters for you.
I mean, I don't have a problem starting Mike Evans and Chris Godwin on the same slate. I mean, this year's a little bit different, but that's like, a combo where like there's plenty of wide receiver combos I don't mind grabbing a 1 and a 2 off of. If I'm flexing the 2, I'm not going to run him as a wide receiver 1 or 2, but I might flex for the upside on the backside of that.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the last 2 games, Joe Burrow is averaging 43 pass attempts a game. He's averaging 350 yards. So I think I'm going to do both over Cooper Kupp because I trust Joe Burrow to throw the ball, and I'm not real sure I trust Jared Goff.
Okay.
And,
all right. Here's the waiver question. All right. So I'm keeping Kupp on my bench.
Yep.
Okay. I got Joshua Kelly, Justin Jackson, Jamal Williams, Gibson's on bye, Mike Williams, J.D. McKissic's on bye, James White, and I got Chase Edmonds on a bye. Okay. So what I'm trying to build depth right now. Okay. Yep. And on my waiver wire, okay, there's Higgins, there's Purin, Richard Rodgers, Gronkowski, Trey Burton, There's Sterling Shepard. He's actually out there as well.
Yep.
Okay. Would you guys drop Mike Williams?
I would. So that was one of the guys that we discussed right before we got into the guys we would pick up. Is typically every show we go through and talk about the guys we would drop, because if you're going to pick somebody up, you got to drop somebody. And both Mike and I were both okay with dropping Mike Williams.
Okay, so we dropped Mike Williams. Are you dropping him for Sterling Shepard, Higgins?
Yep.
I would drop him for either
one of those guys, right?
Trey Burton, really, to me, that guy is very intriguing in his involvement. He's big, and Phillip Rivers loves big tight ends. So for me, I really like Trey Burton a lot this week too, and rest of season.
Yeah,
okay.
I like
to go for a tight end. I think
if you need a tight end, I honestly think I might. So, Mike, let me ask you this: who would you rather have, Richard Rodgers or Trey Burton? Because I almost lean Richard Rodgers.
So this week I'd rather have Richard Rodgers. Rest of season, I'd rather have Trey Burton. Richard Rodgers is great, but Dallas Goedert could be activated this week. He could be back any week. And I feel like Dallas Goedert takes the lion's share of the targets there.
Yeah.
Like I said, I like Richard Rodgers this week if Goddard stays out. But for sure, I don't really see anybody. I think he gets the target share over there in Indy.
Yeah, if you're looking for a tight end this week, 100% I'm all on board. Richard Rodgers versus Dallas. Dallas is 23rd against opposing tight ends. Dallas is just awful. They're just awful. Rodgers had 6 catches for 85 yards on 8 targets in week 7. He's definitely worth starting against Dallas, and we all know how much Wentz likes his tight ends. Like they're what make that whole offense go.
Okay, so would you trust keeping Hunter Henry on your roster and then just benching him for a week? I mean, just to give it some more time, and then start Richard Rodgers over him?
I would absolutely do that.
Or
would you like that for a weekly rental?
Or would you pick up Burton? Huh?
I am a Hunter Henry believer. Like, I think he's a good tight end. It's not clicking right now with Justin Herbert, but I still believe in Hunter Henry's talent. So I'm not getting rid of Hunter Henry. I will still play him. I don't think he's a top 5 tight end week in, week out. Like I think he's a top 12 tight end. I think he's somebody you could play every week. You're kind of hoping he gets you that 4 for 44 and maybe a touchdown. I don't think you're ever going to see Hunter Henry go out and get like 8, 9, 10 receptions for 130 yards and 2 touchdowns. Like, he's not putting up those type numbers anywhere remotely close to it. Outside of your Wallers, your Kelseys, your Kittles, your Mark Andrews, like those are the top 5 tight ends. Outside of that, you're just hoping they fall in the end zone.
Okay, so would you keep Hunter Henry on the roster, or would you drop him and just go and just stream it for the rest of the season?
I would keep Hunter Henry because, like I said, I'm a Hunter Henry believer. So I would keep him and play the matchups with him.
Absolutely agree with that. If you drop him, he get picked up. He's got value.
Okay, so I'm dropping Mike Williams. I got McKissick and James White. Would you drop those 3 players and keep Jamal Williams, Justin Jackson? Yeah, go ahead.
I said earlier I'm a little bit more hesitant to drop James White. Mike is more open to dropping him. So
get him out of there.
We're kind of split on James White here.
James White. Okay.
I go out there. I grab Sterling Shepard. I go grab all these.
What about J.D. McKissick?
And I don't like J.D. McKissick rest of the season either. I think Gibson's the man, and I think he's going to remain the man over there.
Okay, so drop Mike Williams, drop McKissick, and then James White is a question mark?
I'm saying I'm not ready to drop him. I'm definitely benching him. Mike, on the other hand, is full-blown drop him. So
yeah, we're out. We're done with this guy.
Okay. All right. So one last thing. What about Jamal Williams? Would y'all keep him for right now?
Yes.
Yes, especially not knowing if Aaron Jones is coming back this week.
Even if I think they're going to start carving a role for Jamal.
What'd you say?
I said even if I feel like they start carving out a role for Jamal, a little bit more of a role.
Okay, so I'm definitely keeping Chase Edmonds. I'm letting go of James White, McKissick, and Mike Williams. I'm keeping Gibson, of course, Jamal Williams, Justin Jackson. I got Joshua Kelly, and I got Cup. Okay, and I got McKinnon. Now, are you starting McKinnon this week, or are you starting Josh Kelly or Justin Jackson?
I think I'm going Justin Jackson. There's a good chance. Mike was saying it earlier. There's a good chance that Tevin Coleman comes back this week to start because they activated him today, so he's no longer on IR. He's eligible to come back.
Okay, so should I drop McKinnon then?
I wouldn't drop him quite yet.
What size league is this?
It's a 10-man league.
10-man
but
league.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 bench spots.
Ooh.
Oh wow, deep ass benches.
Yeah, smaller league, lots of bench spots. So I like that. I really do. I'm going to say yes. You can drop McKinnon.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think you can drop McKinnon in this situation too, especially if you can turn around and grab Tevin Coleman right now. That'd be a guy I'd be looking for and grabbing.
Okay, what about Purin? Would I grab Purin over Coleman or Coleman over Purin?
Oh, grab Pirine first.
Yeah, Pirine's head and shoulders above Coleman.
Okay, so Purin should be first in my order, and then it should be Coleman after that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, and then you guys are going Richard Rodgers. Go after him for this week. What about Gronk? Gronk is out there too, and the other tight end, the Bryant guy from Browns.
You know, I
don't mind either one of those guys. I don't think you can lose. I think you're getting the same amount of guy out of there. But I think out of all of those, with Tom Brady the way he's playing, I'm leaning Gronk.
I'm just worried about they and it sounds ridiculous. Like they just signed AB, right? Like I don't know if he's going to come in and going to demand a target share. I don't know if there's enough football to go around. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's because Gronk will be hogging them all.
I think go with Gronk. It's the better offense, better opportunity for touchdown.
Okay, so there's Gronk. Okay, so there's Gronk, Richard Rodgers, and there's the Bryant guy from the Browns. So I'm taking Hunter Henry out of my starting lineup. So you're going at the Gronk, picking him up and starting him over Hunter Henry.
Yep.
Okay, and then Sterling Shepard is your number one option to go after over Rashad Higgins.
Is Brandon Ayuk on your waiver? Because I think I would have Ayuk above both of them.
Same.
No, I'm not gonna lie, man. I dropped Ayuk like 3 weeks ago. I made a mistake in doing that.
Oh, that's okay. That happens, buddy.
Listen, it happens to all of us, right? Like the circumstances. It's a weekly game. Yeah. The circumstances change week to week. So I mean, no shame in that at all. We've all done it.
Right. Okay. All right. So I'll let y'all go, but I'll recap. So I'm dropping McKinnon. Okay. And I'm dropping Mike Williams, McKissick, and James White. We're bringing in Gronk is the goal to bring in Gronk, right? We got Pirine above Tevin Coleman, right? So is it Gronk, Richard Rodgers, and then Bryant? Is that the order you guys are going for the tight end?
Yeah, I have Bryant last.
Yeah, same.
Bryant last.
Yeah, Hooper will be back.
What about Burton? Forgot about Burton. What about Burton?
I like Burton up there too. I think Burton's right below Gronk for me.
Yeah, I have it Gronk. I have it Gronk, Richard Rodgers, Burton, and Mike has it Gronk, Burton, Richard Rodgers.
Perfect.
So whichever one you like better, because me and Mike are split on them.
Okay, so you said Gronk, Burton, Richard Rodgers, and then Bryant, right?
Yep.
And then what? I'm sorry. What do you have? What's the other one?
I have it the same way. I have it the same way, except I have Burton and Rodgers flipped. So I have Burton number 2, or I have Burton number 3.
I have him at
Rodgers
number 2.
And Mike has Burton number 2 and Rodgers number 3.
And then who's... Okay, gotcha. So you have Burton at number 3?
Yeah,
I do, yes.
George does.
Okay, and then so Gronk's number 1, and then who was your number 2?
Number 2 was it was both for both of us as Richard Rodgers. Now, Richard Rodgers 2,
Okay,
and then Burton 3.
okay, I appreciate it.
Yep. Good luck, man. Tear
Good
it
luck
up
this week, brother.
All right.
All right, back to the show. That was an interesting call. This is the downside of having the two of us. When we're split, right? Like
right. Yep.
It is what it is. Minimal Impact wants to know which running backs are you holding in Dynasty, McKinnon, Wilson, or Hasty. Of those 3, I want Hasty the most.
I want Hasty the most, and then Wilson second, and then McKinnon third.
Yeah. I mean, I've always said about McCain, he couldn't beat out Matt Asiata for a starting role when he was in Minnesota, so I don't want him anywhere near my team in Dynasty.
Yeah, nope, I'm good with that too.
Hurst or Jonnu this week. I'm a Jonnu guy. The matchup is good, but I'm going Jonnu.
I like Jonnu Smith, but I feel like he did not look right to me.
First game back, yeah.
He did not look right. He did not look like that ankle's feeling very good. As a matter of fact, I spent a good chunk of fab on Anthony Ferkser as a result in the Scott Fish Bowl because of what I saw with Jonnu Smith. So I'm thinking that I'm leaning Hurst this week, and I would kind of be starting to fade Jonnu Smith. He's definitely not a huge concern of mine yet, but he's definitely on my radar. I'm definitely a little bit worried about Jonnu Smith rest of the season. So for me, it's Hurst this week, and Hurst is starting to get more and more targets and more involved. So start Hurst.
All right, we're going to jump right into these wide receivers. I'm going to fly through these, Mike. If there's something that we need to stop and address, we will, but for the most part, we'll just keep it short, sweet, and to the point. Guys that we should say, check your waiver wire, see if these guys are available. A lot of these guys are owned 70% or more, but you never know. You might be in one of those leagues where you've got a diamond sitting on the waiver wire. Christian Kirk, they're on a bye this week, so he may, watch what your league mates do. Kirk's on a bye this week, so they may drop him thinking nobody's going to pick him up. If you got room on your roster to bench him for a week, he's somebody that you can immediately plug right into your flex week in, week out. Deontay Johnson for the number 1 wide receiver in Pittsburgh. He's 80% owned, so there's a good chance he's not. But if he is not owned, go ahead and grab him. Cole Beasley, 70%. Again, PPR leagues, he is super, super valuable. He's getting you 7-8 catches, 40 to 50 yards, double-digit points every single week. Guys to check to see if the waiver priority. We already talked about Brandon Ayuk with what's his name? Deebo Samuel being injured. He could be the best free agent, honestly, to add at any position this week. Even above, as much as we love P. Ryan, like Brandon Ayuk could be just a major add. He left week 7 at New England, 6 catches, 115 yards on 7 targets. He runs the ball. He's going to fill right into the Deebo Samuel role. Another guy worth adding is Scott Miller. Mike, what do you think about Scotty Miller?
I like Scotty Miller, but man, it just seems like, I'm just like, ugh. Like, I think that he'll go out there and throw up another stinker. AB's going to be there. But Godwin out, I'm playing Scotty Miller. I have to play him. The volume opportunity is too high.
I think this week he's somebody that I don't mind rolling out to play. But I think Antonio Brown doesn't join the team until next week. So you get one more week with Scotty Miller potentially having an opportunity to have a big game. He gets the New York Giants. They're 26th against opposing wide receivers. So there is potential there for a huge game, especially if Godwin is out and Mike Evans is still a little hobbled. So Miller could be on the line here for a pretty decent game. Another guy people are clamoring over right now is Sterling Shepard. He came back from his toe injury, 6 catches, 59 yards, and a tutty on 8 targets. What do you think about that, Mike?
He's looking good, man. He's looking good. I think we'll see more of that. I mean, when Sterling Shepard can stay on the field, he's phenomenal. The problem is he can never stay on the field. That's the bad downside of Sterling Shepard.
Yep. Somebody who we've been fading in recent weeks, but has a really good matchup. So he pops back up here is Greg Ward. Everybody knows this week, the Sunday night game after the classic that we had this past weekend with the Seattle Seahawks. Like, Seattle and Arizona put on a fantastic game, and it was so good and it was so amazing. The NFL decided, hey, we're going to follow this up with the Philadelphia Eagles at the Dallas Cowboys. Or home to Dallas. It's just going to be another barn burner. It's going to be such back and forth. We're going to see such great offense, great defense. Special teams are going to be amazing. Coaching is going to be phenomenal. Can't say enough about the Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys. But yeah, Greg Ward's 28th. Dallas is 28th against wide receivers. It's a very slim picking right now in that wide receiver secondary. So Greg Ward always has the opportunity to have a nice game here. Corey Davis. What are you thinking about Corey Davis now that he's off the COVID list?
I like Corey Davis a lot this season. I think he's doing fine. I think he's doing great. He's getting the target share. He's nothing spectacular or anything like that, but he's getting Dante Moncrief 16 to 18 points. Yeah.
He had season high 10 targets against Pittsburgh. Finished with 6 catches, 35 yards, and a touchdown. I mean, he scored at least 11 PPR points in every single game this season. So, I mean, while he's not blowing you away with that production, it's a very safe floor with Corey Davis. And we all know that he does have the skills, or at least he displayed the skills in college that made him a first-round wide receiver pick. So, next one we have here, Nelson Aguilar. The Las Vegas Raiders this week, they're going up against the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns are 30th against opposing wide receivers. Aguilar seems like the number one receiver for the Raiders as of late. Like, I know Henry Ruggs is out there, and he's catching all the big plays, the flashy plays. But Aguilar comes into week 8 at Cleveland with at least 14 PPR points in 3 games in a row. Tampa Bay, week 7 was a lone game where he had more than 4 targets. He had 9 targets for 5 catches and 107 yards and a touchdown. So there could be more work coming his way. Are you trusting Nelson Aguilar with everybody we got on bye this week?
I am, yeah, completely. It's 3 straight good weeks in a row. He is the number one receiver in Los Angeles, Las Vegas, Oakland, wherever the hell they're at this year. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm thinking that Nelson Aguilar, for some reason, decided once he moved out of Philly, he can catch again. So it's kind of nice to see him doing that. But wow, it's kind of just a different dynamic to see him do that too. It's odd to see him out there catching things.
Yeah, a couple guys that are speculative at this point in the season. Come with a little bit of questions. Not somebody I really want to go out and trust unless it's a super deep league or I'm just absolutely strapped at the position. Like, everybody knows I'm the Dolphin guy. I love my Dolphins. Preston Williams could be in a good spot. Parker isn't able to go in week 8 against the Rams, listen, if Parker doesn't go against the Rams, I think we're going to see a lot of Jalen Ramsey on Preston Williams. So you have to temper your expectations. Then you add in the fact that Tua Tagovailoa is the quarterback starting for the first time. Like, if you're desperate, I think Preston Williams is somebody you could throw out there. Personally, I'm not doing it. He did get a touchdown in 3 of his last 4 games, so he is being targeted in the red zone. He is 6'5". He's a big-bodied wide receiver. But yeah, it's just a tough matchup. And if Parker doesn't go, I'm fading Preston Williams for sure. Mike, talk a little bit about Rashard Higgins. We've had a couple people mention him so far this week.
I really like Rashard Higgins a lot with OBJ being out of there. He seemed like he filled that role pretty good. But, I mean, you still have the same situation with Cleveland that we've always had, and that's a lot of mouths to feed, a lot of weapons out there. You got Peoples-Jones, I believe was the guy's name. Now I'm like, what was that rookie's name? He was actually looking pretty good too. And then, of course, Jarvis Landry will still be out there. I mean, I like him, but I'm not going to be spending a lot of waiver on him or a lot of fab on the guy.
Okay. We got a message here from Bob. Don't drop James Robinson in sniper leagues. No, don't drop James Robinson in sniper leagues. He's the running back 2 on the season, Bob. What are you
dropped
doing
him in
to
a money league in week 2 because I was like, yeah, this guy ain't going to be any good. And then, but to be fair, it's a 4-deep bench, and I have like Austin Eckler, Nick Chubb, all kinds of good people.
All right, let's keep going here. Another guy I want you to talk about, Mike. You called it on Sunday. You said start the guy. You gave somebody advice to start him. And you said if you need somebody with higher upside and a shot in the dark, it's Marquez Callaway. Mike, take it away.
Tennessee standout. The guy is good. He's big. He's fast. I really like this guy a lot. Once again, I mean, if you can get this, and you will be able to get this guy off your waivers, because a whole lot of people still aren't really paying attention to what that guy did this week. He's the real deal, and I think he'll be the kind of like the Ted Ginn, if you will, of that team, especially if Michael Thomas ever does show up. Now, if Michael Thomas never shows up to play football again, this guy is a must add. And so at the time being, I'd say must add him right now. He's good. He's big. He's fast, and Drew Brees found him.
Yeah, he had 10 targets, 8 catches, 75 yards. He had a touchdown, but it was called back for holding, I believe. So he could have had just a monster day. Mike almost won the Moneymaker million with that guy in his lineup. If he had caught that touchdown, like Mike would have probably won $20. So, the guy owes you 20, Mike. What can I say?
That's right.
Real quick, we're going to move right into tight ends. Injuries, Zach Ertz, Tyler Higbee was game time decision, did not play Monday night. Austin Hooper with his appendix. Goddard with the ankle, we expect him back. I expect 2 weeks for Goddard before he gets back. So go fire up your Richard Rodgers. Go Dick Rod. Dawson Knox has a quote-unquote illness. They're not really saying what the illness is. It's just an illness. On bye, you got a whole
protocol.
What's that?
He's on COVID protocol.
Oh, Dawson Knox is?
Dawson Knox is, yep.
Okay, yeah. I have illness in my notes. Guys on bye is a whole lot of nobodies. Well, they're not nobodies. Let me rephrase that. They're guys you can start in a pinch, but it's like it's your streaming tight ends. They're all on bye. Logan Thomas, Darren Fells, Dan Arnold, and Tyler Eifert. The priority list so the guys to see if they're available. If Jared Cook's available, get him. Noah Fant, Rob Gronkowski, like those would be the guys I would want to add in all of my leagues if they're available. Odds are they're not. They're all 85% or higher. The guys that I am looking to add, I said it earlier. I know Mike is a Trey Burton guy. I'm a Richard Rodgers guy. We'll call them 1A, 1B. You fill in who's A, who's B. It doesn't really matter to me. I'm a poet and didn't know it. Richard Rodgers this week has the better matchup of the two. So if you're looking at it as a weekly play, I want Dick Rod. He's got the Dallas Cowboys. They're 23rd against tight ends. He absolutely crushed it last week with no Goddard and with no Ertz. 6 catches, 85 yards on 8 targets. Wentz is going to target this guy. He's a big body. He can catch the ball. He can run with it. Trey Burton, we've been watching him the last few weeks. He's been fantastic. He's been the best tight end to add now that the Colts have had their bye. Week 6 against Cincinnati, 4 catches, 58 yards, and a touchdown. He also ran one in, I believe. It was that game or the previous game. But listen, it's Phillip Rivers. Like, he loves his tight ends. So don't shy away from Trey Burton. It's a difficult matchup. I think the matchup is what gets it for me this week. They're going up against Detroit, and while you think Detroit's a terrible defense, and they are, they're actually number 2 against tight ends. So that stat kind of blew my mind. Mike Gesicki, if he's out there, he's owned in 59% of leagues. They get the Rams. The Rams front 4 is absolutely amazing, but they're 22nd against tight ends. Gesicki is used all over the place. He's a tight end. They put him in the slot. They use him in the slot. They run the guy. He's a big, huge athletic freak of a monster at a tight end position. With Tua, I'm just going to call him Tua. I can't do it. It's too much pressure. Yeah, it's too much pressure, Mike. I can't handle the pressure. With Tua behind center, like, I expect a lot of checkdowns. I'm not sure they're going to open up the offense. I expect Gesicki to be a rookie tight end's best friend. Gerald Everett, listen, if Higbee misses a lot of time, like, Gerald Everett is going to be something. He's got a difficult matchup this week, believe it or not, against Miami. Miami's number 3 against tight ends. Like, this is not your 2019 Miami Dolphins defense. They added a lot of pieces in the draft. They added a lot of pieces in free agency. The defense is significantly better. But if you're telling me there's no Tyler Higbee and Jared Everett is getting all the reps at tight end, absolutely worth starting.
Whoa. You're forgetting about Dan Arnold, buddy. Dan Arnold lit it up yesterday.
Yeah, but Dan Arnold's on a bye.
Dan Arnold might be on a bye, but Dan Arnold, I'm saying if we're talking about Higbee being out, Dan Arnold was a big dude that came in strong.
Dan Arnold's on a bye this week. He can't play, Mike.
Oh, I'm thinking of Reynolds. I'm sorry, dude. I was thinking of Reynolds.
Reynolds, yeah. Okay. You keep saying Dan Arnold.
I was watching him last week. What are you talking about? He's not on a bye this week. And then I was like, nope, I was thinking of Josh Reynolds. There you go.
Yeah, Josh Reynolds. Listen, I needed 95 combined points from Josh Reynolds and Malcolm Brown to win a league. Guess what? It did not happen. It did not. Listen, they both got touchdowns. They gave me their best effort, but yeah, that was not happening. A lot of people are point chasing with Harrison Bryant. Listen, I'm not point chasing with Harrison Bryant. All right, like, Njoku is going to be the starting tight end there. The only reason Harrison Bryant was anything this week is because he got 2 touchdowns. He got 2 touchdowns on 5 targets. He got 2 touchdowns on 5 targets. 2 touchdowns, 5 targets. Baker Mayfield had to throw 5 touchdowns for him to get 2 of them. Baker Mayfield's not going out to throw 5 touchdowns again this week. You guys need to slow the roll, temper your expectations. It's going to be Njoku who will be the starting tight end there. I'm very, very low on Harrison Bryant this week.
Yep, same here. I'm not going to spend too much on him.
Nothing. We got the bottom of the barrel, Eric Ebron, Drew Sample, Logan Thomas, kind of interesting, but not really. Albert O, Cole Clement, like, none of these guys really, do anything for me. I'm not interested in starting any of them.
Okwuegbunam, I'm telling you, I was saying him at the beginning of the season. Watch out for him because Drew Lock loves Okwuegbunam. He was hitting him all the way through college, and then all of a sudden, look at it, even with Noah Fant on the field, and Noah Fant's another one of those guys who I thought was looking trashy. I didn't think he looked very good. I didn't think he looked like his normal Noah Fant self.
If Patrick's out, I'm interested in Alberto. If he's not, I got no interest. Let's move real quick. We'll go right into the defenses. Again, we don't really talk a whole lot about defenses. Just give you a couple guys you can stream. These are some lower percentage owned defenses. Check your waiver wire. They may be available. They got pretty decent matchups. The Colts at Detroit is an interesting one. I think Detroit's been playing better as of late, especially since they started handing the ball to Swift more. But the Colts are a stout defense. They are very, very good. The Saints at Chicago, I think that's interesting. God, the Chicago quarterbacks are just atrocious.
So
we may get a return of the GOAT, Mike. It is possible the GOAT is going to come back this season.
There's a chance that they'll just find somebody off the street to try it too. They're like, hey, do you know anything about being a quarterback?
I'm all on board the GOAT coming back. All for the GOAT. Then you got the Packers, who surprisingly they're only 40% owned. Packers defense against Minnesota. And then you got we mentioned it earlier, the Titans versus Cincinnati. Titans, like I said, they're really good at run defense. They could be beat on the pass. That's why I kind of like Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins this week, especially the way Joe Burrow's been playing as of late. Mike, all right, I'm going to ask you. It's your kickers. I'm gonna give you the names, and you put them in order of highest priority for you. Rodrigo Blankenship, Joey Sly, Jason Sanders, Tyler Bass. What's your order of those kickers, Mike?
Well, I'm going to go with bass first because I like to bass fish.
Okay. Makes sense.
The second guy, you said I will go with second just to keep that consistent.
That's a sly move. Very, very sly.
And then the third guy will be the first guy because I screw that guy.
So we're screwing. So like you like the bass fish, so we'll go with him first. You have a Sanders. So you're going to go Sanders second. It's pretty sly, so you go Joey Sly third, and Blankenship fourth.
Yeah.
Actually, honestly, if I'm being 100% honest and I'm not making fun of kickers, Blankenship should be the number one kicker picked up. He's been absolutely amazing this year. If somebody
Blankenship is sinking.
Yeah, so. if somebody dropped your Blankenship, go ahead and pick them up and then tell them I sunk your Blankenship.
Take his word for it. Do not take mine. I don't know anything about kickers. So.
I know a little bit about kickers. I just want to say that. Bob said, not a true Dolphins fan. Yeah, I know I'm not.
Dana Hill, a Lions fan.
Yep, I knew she was a Lions fan. And who says Alberto's top 5 in targets on a per game average amongst tight end? That's great. I'm still not starting him.
Yeah, I will.
Because Drew Lock is atrocious.
Hoos and I know these sleepers. You guys should listen.
It's not. Albert O is not a sleeper.
Together we form the mega duo called Dirty Profit.
That is amazing. I get my fantasy football advice from a Dirty Prophet.
Yeah, I love it.
Marquez Callaway, that was a sleeper. Albert O is not a sleeper.
He is, I'm telling you. He was good. In Missouri with Drew Lock, they were just inseparable. So, inseparable.
So, Mike, we actually managed to make it to the end of the show, just slightly over an hour and a half. That went along with a 45-minute phone call. We repeated ourselves 100 times.
I had to change my mind on the last one. I'm like, dude, I'll just go Richard Rodgers just to get this guy to
let's get him on the phone.
Say yes, okay, here we go.
Minimal, we appreciate that. Dana, we appreciate you for tuning in. Bob, yeah. I appreciate you for tuning in. Fallon, I appreciate you for putting up with this nonsense all night tonight. Thank you so very much. For Mike, you can find him on Twitter at DirtyJobs21. For Fallon, you can find her at FF_JustAGirl. I myself am the Big Mouth at BFTG Pod. You can follow us all on the Sleeper Wire Show at Twitter. Download, subscribe, leave us a review. Can't forget our the boss man Hoos, part of the Dirty Profits Tag Team Wrestling. With that, ladies and gentlemen, go get those waivers in. Good luck and have a good night.
Tag Team Wrestling. I love it. Bring it. Team bring it.
The Dirty Profits.
The Dirty Profits.